Welcome to the podcast. Today, we are talking about a kind of loss that is often misunderstood because the person being mourned may still be alive. What happens inside a child when a parent walks away? Not only physically but emotionally through abandonment, inconsistency, broken promises, or prolonged absence. For many children, the pain does not end when the door closes. It can quietly shape how they see themselves, how they trust others, and what they come to expect from love. Some blame themselves, some become angry, some grow up too quickly, and some learn to avoid closeness because they fear that everyone they love will eventually leave. In this episode, we will explore the hidden mental health toll of parental abandonment, including its effects on self-esteem, attachment, identity, behavior, and future relationships. This is not about attacking parents or simplifying complicated family situations. It is about understanding what the child may be carrying in silence. So, wherever you are listening from, take a moment, settle in, and let us begin. When a parent walks away, they do not simply leave an empty bedroom, a vacant seat at the dinner table, or one less voice in the house. For the child left behind, the absence can become a question that follows them for years. Why wasn't I enough for them to stay? Children may not fully understand divorce, separation, addiction, conflict, incarceration, or emotional unavailability, but they understand absence. And when no clear, age-appropriate explanation is provided, many children create their own. They may blame themselves. They may believe they were too difficult or somehow unworthy of love. This is the hidden psychological toll of parental abandonment. Young children often see themselves as the center of what happens around them. Because of this, when a parent leaves, a child may not, "My parent was struggling." They may think, "My parent left because of me." Even when adults repeatedly say, "It wasn't your fault," the child may continue to search for something they did wrong. They may replay past arguments. They may remember the times they misbehaved. They may wonder whether being quieter, smarter, more successful, or more obedient would have made the parent stay. Over time, this self-blame can weaken the child's self-esteem and shape how they understand their own value. Instead of seeing abandonment as an adult decision, they may internalize it as evidence that they are difficult to love. A parent is often a child's earliest source of safety. When that relationship suddenly disappears, becomes inconsistent, or repeatedly breaks promises, the child may begin to believe that all relationships are temporary. They may become intensely afraid of separation. They may panic when the remaining caregiver leaves for work. They may struggle with school drop-offs, sleepovers, or being alone. Some children become extremely attached. They constantly seek reassurance. "Are you coming back? Do you still love me? Are you going to leave too?" Other children respond in the opposite way. They become emotionally distant. They avoid depending on anyone because dependence now feels dangerous. The child may appear unusually independent, but beneath that independence may be a fear that trusting someone gives that person the power to hurt them. Abandonment does not always look like sadness. Sometimes it looks like anger. A child may become defiant, aggressive, or difficult to manage. They may fight at school, reject affection, or deliberately push away the people trying to support them. This behavior is sometimes treated only as misconduct, but anger may be protecting something more vulnerable: grief, confusion. The child may be angry at the parent who left. They may also be angry at the parent who stayed, even when that parent did nothing wrong. The remaining caregiver is present, and therefore becomes the safest person on whom to release feelings that cannot be expressed to the absent parent. In some cases, the child may even defend the parent who left, while directing their anger toward everyone else. This does not necessarily mean they are unaffected. It may mean that admitting the truth feels too painful. When someone dies, society recognizes the loss. There are rituals, condolences, funerals, and permission to grieve. But when a parent chooses to leave, the loss is less visible. The parent may still be alive. They may live in another city. They may post photographs online. They may occasionally call, visit, make promises, and then disappear again. The child is left grieving someone who still exists, but is no longer reliably available. This type of loss can be emotionally confusing because there may be no clear ending. The child may continue waiting. Every birthday, holiday, school performance may renew the hope that the parent will return, and each disappointment can reopen the original wound. Children often build their identity partly through their parents. They ask, "Who do I look like? Where did my talents come from? What was my parent like at my age? When one parent is absent, particularly without explanation, the child may feel that part of their own identity is missing. They may wonder whether they share the absent parent's weaknesses. They may fear becoming like the person who left. If relatives constantly criticize the absent parent, the child may enter those criticisms personally. After all, that parent is part of them. Statements like, "You are just like your father," or "You're going to end up like your mother," can inflict deep shame and confusion. A child should never be forced to carry the moral judgment adults have placed on an absent parent. The emotional effects of abandonment may continue into adolescence and adulthood. A young person who was left by a parent may deeply desire closeness while simultaneously fearing it. They may become highly sensitive to rejection. A delayed text message, a disagreement, or a change in someone's tone may feel like evidence that another abandonment is coming. Some may remain in unhealthy relationships because losing someone feels worse than being mistreated. Others may end relationships before the other person has the opportunity to leave. They may test people repeatedly. Will you stay if I become difficult? Will you still love me when I am angry? Will you leave when you see who I really am? These patterns do not occur in every child who experiences parental absence. Children respond differently, depending on their age, support system, family stability, and the circumstances surrounding the separation. But when these behaviors occur, they should not automatically be interpreted as attention-seeking or manipulation. They may represent attempts to prevent another painful loss. Emotional distress often appears in areas that seem unrelated to the family situation. A child may suddenly struggle academically. They may lose concentration, forget assignments, withdraw from friends, or stop participating in activities they previously enjoyed. Children need explanations that are truthful and appropriate for their age. They do not need every painful detail of adult conflict, but they do need to hear, "This was an adult decision. You did not cause it. You are allowed to miss them. You are allowed to feel angry, and you are still worthy of love." Healing does not require pretending the abandonment never happened. It begins by giving the child stability, honesty, and emotional permission. The child needs at least one dependable adult, whose words and actions are consistent. If you promise to call, call. If you say you will attend an event, make every reasonable effort to be there. Predictability helps rebuild a sense of safety. Professional support may also be helpful, particularly when the child experiences persistent anxiety, major changes in sleep or eating, or difficulty functioning in everyday life. To every child, teenager, or adult still carrying this wound, your parent's absence is not a measurement of your worth. You were not too difficult to love. You were not responsible for solving an adult's problems, and you did not fail because you could not make someone stay. The pain may have shaped parts of your life, but it does not have to determine every relationship you will ever have. Trust can be rebuilt. Healthy love can be learned. And the story of who you become does not belong to the person who walked away. It belongs to you.